All right, we're gonna try this thing again. It's storming here in Houston, so the internet kicked us off, but that's okay. That just means it's gonna be a really, really, really good show. So let me mute it. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't see your face.
What?
I just see your background.
I just see your screen.
I see your virtual background.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see.
Now you're there.
Okay. I'm hoping that we're on YouTube. I'm hoping we're live.
It's showing live on YouTube in the corner.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, in the words of what's my boy's name? Kevin Hart.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Hashtag I'm Just Saying. I'm yours truly, Mimi Michelle. Oh my God, thank you so much for tuning in. Get involved, ask questions, leave your comments. We're gonna be talking about to vaccinate or not to vaccinate, to get the vaccine, all those types of things. If it's backwards, if it says hashtag I'm just saying backwards, that's okay. We're gonna roll with it today because we're having some technical difficulties. How you ladies doing?
We're doing fine. How are you?
Let me pour me up another drink because now I'm gonna need it. And I'm not pouring no perfect glass. I'm pouring what I need today.
Well,
what you gotta do.
So we was talking about Kirk Franklin calling his
son. Oh man, Mimi Chu.
Mimi, every time you talk about it, you might want to leave Kirk Franklin and Jesus alone.
Right.
Like that.
So you froze. You froze after you said Kirk Franklin. It froze. So maybe we don't need to talk about Kirk Franklin.
Alone. You know what? Maybe that's why they're giving us the technical difficulties.
Jesus is saying, "Leave my boy alone."
God said you're in my territory. God said you're in my territory.
I'm not mad at Kirk. You know, it's like I have said some out of line things to my nephew. I don't have children. But, when you're dealing with a young man and they got that testosterone, sometimes they kind of get a little, you know what I'm saying? I would never talk to my mom in a disrespectful manner.
Right.
Especially when she's reprimanding me. I would never do that. But at the same time, if I get out of line with my mama trying to be grown, I'm almost 50. And I still have the utmost respect for my mom. But we don't know the type of relationship they have. He said he apologized. And he also said, right during that time, he called the therapist, but his son didn't post that. Why did you post the argument? That's what I want to know. One, why post the argument?
You know why? To bring his daddy down. You just, people sometimes feel like somebody is here. So if I can bring you down a notch because you're trying to get on me and you think you up here, let me go on and knock you down some.
Yeah.
Child. And it's a shame when you were off that, my children are both adults and I respect them. And we have our moments. We've never had anything that I've never smoked. I was telling her, say fart in front of my mother was a bad word. We would say or pass gas. Some people say, and just like ass and butt and all of that, you said behind, you just never did that kind of stuff. But now these children and they feel like they can say and do everything. But if you arguing with your 30-something-year-old son, then that means you got a whole lot to do with your 30-something-year-old son's business. Obviously, if they're a true-fledged adult, you ain't having that kind of argument because they're grown. And so I just feel like it's a whole lot more to it. If he's that deep, if he's still arguing with his 30-something-year-old grown son, it's some more tied into that.
Well, what I gather from it is that, and he says that definitely they would need some therapy because there are some unresolved issues. They have an estranged relationship. So nobody knows the dynamics of that relationship. And so sometimes people feel or kids feel like, well, maybe you weren't there for me. Now you don't have the right to tell me what to do now. You missed me growing up. Like, I don't know what their issue is, but I know that you can't now come around and just expect to get what some people feel. You can't just get all of this deference because you're my dad and you weren't there all of this other time. So you haven't earned that. I mean, like I said, I don't know the dynamic of the relationship or anything like that, but it's always two sides. I don't think I don't think it's okay to talk to anybody like that. I do, however, think sometimes, and it's not right. Pray
Yeah,
for me.
come on.
Sometimes that's all people understand, and that's how you have to get their attention sometimes.
But okay, both of you guys have sons. You have a young man, Renee.
Mm-hmm.
And what I don't know if your son count. Latane, he the pastor. And that's the point. In the world's eyes, pastors do no wrong, right? But have you ever been so angry at your child where you called him out their name?
No.
I haven't.
No, never. Never, ever, 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 ever have I even, no.
That's why I was
did that to me.
So it just all depends on your family dynamic. Like some people, they cuss and that's just what they do. And it's no big deal. That's just how they speak to each other. Like I can honestly say, like I've been in relationships where you had to call somebody out of their name. Like we don't get down like that. We already said that from go. Look, this is how we're going to talk to each other. If you feel like you need some space, get some space. I will never call you out of your name. Don't ever call. I mean, that all happened in premarital counseling.
Yeah.
And my pastor required it. And I'm so glad that he did, because it allowed us to set some ground rules, and we didn't even know we needed ground rules. But
absolutely,
there's like rules of engagement in war. So there has to be rules of engagement in a relationship.
And even in our worst moments with my ex-husband, he has never called me out of my name. Ever, 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 ever.
You have to slap the taste out of his mouth if he did.
It might be a Latane with a harshness, Latane, but it was never any of that. And again, even with my daughter, I've never said that. I've never called her out of her name. Okay, I'll be like, you better get up out of here. And we had a moment at one point that I was like, you really don't want to meet Latane Bruce, mama. Okay, you don't want to meet this other person that was pre-Latane Simpson at the time. Yeah, you don't want to meet her. You need to leave her in Freeport, Illinois, where she all right and she did her own thing. But you don't want never the twain shall meet.
Right. I had the same conversation with Jackson before. I'm like, Jackson, let me just tell you something. Before I was mommy, I was Renee. And before I was all of that, it was Nene. And you don't want East Orange right here. I'm just trying to get you to understand that sometimes you push my buttons and you're going to see another side that I don't want you to see. I don't want nobody to see that side.
Well, that's another question. Do you think that maybe it's because if you guys were fathers and a father was talking to a son, do you think men think differently on how they talk to their sons?
Oh, absolutely. They're wired different. They definitely think differently. And maybe, like I said, maybe Kurt had to go there with him, and he can just apologize for it later. But like I said, sometimes that's all people understand. You can be nice and thank you and this, and then people walk all over you. And then once you get up in somebody's face and like grab them by the collar, then now you have their attention. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that. Or, every now and then. But like I said, you can't make these people put these people on these pedestals and think that they are different just because they're famous. They're just regular people.
Yeah, I don't think Kirk owed me an explanation. I don't think he owed the world an explanation.
That's between him and God.
That's between him and God and his family. And that's where I think we as a fan base or audience, we ask for too much. And I think maybe because he is a Christian artist, they don't expect us, because that to do wrong or to step out of line or to use words and verbiage in that manner when I can cuss you out flat and don't blink.
Right.
We're
doing a disservice. We're doing a disservice because like everybody in the Bible was a something else. Murderer, whore, thief, all of these things. So everybody has that in them. And to expect somebody to be something different, like it does say, come to God, know Christ, and be changed. Yes, I'm going to be changed. I'm not going to act that way, hopefully, all the time. But
that's a defect in me. If I have an expectation for somebody else, that's on me to have that kind of put somebody up that high, but not hold myself in that accountability. Because I can be a good sales manager today, but some can twist and oh my God, she's a salesman. No, I'm a person. And so
I am a person.
I am a person. I'm a human, and that's why God extends us grace and mercy every day, because He knows we need it every day.
Every single day.
Grace and mercy.
And what the song say? Try Jesus, don't try me.
That's right.
I throw hands.
That's right. That's right.
So let's get into this. First, we're gonna talk about Texas opening up 100% and the effects of that. So another hot topic that was on when I was, when you get up early, you see some things that you don't see when you sleep in. Yeah. So 3 ladies in Las Vegas went to jail. Did y'all see that? Because they got in the Uber, and the Uber driver, he had his mask on, and he was asking them to put their mask on. And she was like, I don't have to wear a mask. The mandate says I don't have to wear a mask. Almost made me think they were from Houston or from Texas. And they start beating the Uber driver and coughing on the Uber driver. And
they need to go to jail. That's assault.
That's assault. They are going. 2 of them have already gone to jail, and 1 they are looking for. And this is the problem I had with the mandate. Yeah, they say it's 100% and you don't have to wear one. But if the company that you go to asks that you wear a mask, but they feel like they don't have to deal with us as business owners because the governor said it's okay. Latanya,
it all stems down.
What's your opinion on that?
You already know.
Yep.
You already know. I'll just share it for Renee. I went to the nail salon yesterday, and I really wasn't paying a lot of attention when I first sat down. And then I looked up, and my nail tech did not have a mask on. And I said, why don't you have on a mask? The governor said it's over. We don't have to wear a mask anymore. And I said, and you've had your shots. So I've had one. I'm free. And I looked around, and there was only 2 people in the shop without a mask. And I said, listen, you guys are going to lose business behind this. She did just like that.
Oh.
And so then she was in the middle of my nails. So I let her finish. I had my mask on. I didn't say 3 words. Then she was supposed to do my nails again on Tuesday. And she said, what time are you coming back on Tuesday? Never. I'm never coming back. And she said, well, about this, because you got to get free sometimes. I said, absolutely about this. You've made a judgment call and I've made a judgment call. So we're at a standstill. Won't be coming back. And I told him when I went outside, I'm talking to the manager too. Well, I didn't have a chance to talk to the manager because it was Sunday and I was like doing other stuff. No, I was looking for a new nail shop. That's what I was doing today. And so then I get a long text message from the manager saying, no, our shop is not open. As small business owners, we have the ability to say that you have to keep clients as well as the nail techs are mandated. If people want to go someplace else, they can, but this is my property. So therefore, I can mandate the mask. If people want to be free, they can go someplace else, but you cannot come in my establishment. I think that is why I think, number one, they put people in stores like young people in a bad position. Because if you're at a store and somebody comes in, you 17, you got to tell some 60-year-old boy, they put your mask on, then that puts them in a bad position. But if the store is saying it and all of the people who work there are wearing masks, that's where I want to go. But if they're saying open, wide open, no, I'm not fooling with them.
Yeah. Renee, what you think?
So I think Governor Hot Wheels was out of line because he didn't listen to any scientists. He is buddy with the business sector. He's out of touch. And I say this, when the governor's mansion is open for tours, then we should be open. So it's easy to say, oh yeah, we're going to open. And it's all money. It's all about money. It's spring break. Everybody wants to get some money and make up for all of last year. I get it. I really do get it. People need to make their money. But I mean, we weren't on the path to be opened up. It's
Yeah.
only like 7% of Texans are even fully vaccinated. So
Right.
they have these rules in place, and for Texas, the rules don't apply to them. Their own rules that they set up. And he always said he was going to follow the science, but he's just following the clown that just left office, and he's doing what the business sector wants him to do, unfortunately. And
Oh.
that's what happens in that party. They put business over people over and over
Yeah.
again. And
And
as for
he
me and
tried
my
to
house,
backpedal.
we're going to praise the Lord and we're going to wear the masks.
He tried to literally backpedal or backwheel, but when he said
Backwheel.
it was to, people need to use common sense, but that's not what you said.
That's not what you
Not
said.
say that. Now you're saying, oh, well, if it's a big place or not, you didn't put all those stipulations. You said 100%. And
Yep.
and what I've found when I'm out, you guys tell me what you're seeing, but what I found is people are wearing masks. Most people are like,
still wearing masks. They're not playing with him. He can
Yep.
do a pop a wheelie and move around. But I will say, we were driving around yesterday and we went and ordered some food and picked it up and came home. But I was like, Mo, look at all of these shopping centers. I haven't seen them this crowded since before the pandemic. And like, if you're in a place and you know how close the tables are before the pandemic, and if they're going back to that, I feel bad because we're so close. All you have to do is just hold on just a little bit longer. They said by July, everybody can like kind of loosen up a little bit. By the end of May, everybody will have been vaccinated who wants to be vaccinated. So why not just wait a little while longer? And unfortunately, it's some of us too. It's mostly not us, but
Yeah.
I don't get it. And if that's what you want to do, go right ahead and do it. I'm gonna keep wearing this mask and protect myself and my mom. I mean, that's my chief concern, protecting my mom. I had COVID.
Yeah.
Thank God it wasn't
Bad.
bad. You talked about grace and mercy. It's grace and mercy. It's but by the grace of God. And I acknowledge that. I'm thankful for it. And I joke a lot and say that I really truly believe that I'm God's favorite because I didn't have loss of taste, loss of smell. I wasn't achy. I never had a fever. I only had my sinus issues going on that I always have. And the only reason I went and got tested is because somebody at work said, "Hey guys, I got tested and I tested positive. I think you guys should go get tested." And the ironic thing is I had already had an appointment set at my doctor telling him, "I think I have a sinus infection. I want to come see you so you can prescribe something." He did that. I told him about all of my symptoms, everything. He's like, "Yeah, it's not COVID." I even told him about the person at work. He's like, it's not COVID. It's sinus. I was in the yard all weekend and mine are bothering me too, blah, blah, blah. I left there, went and got my test. 2 days later, it said it was positive. I could have been around here infecting everybody if I didn't get tested.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We must be responsible. And I know people are like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired of COVID." Well, I'm tired of COVID too. Today marked the entire year that our congregation has not been in our church because of COVID. We have a dear friend that is really fighting.
Struggling.
I'm talking about fighting, struggling to get well. And she has it's over 14 days. So when I say get vaccinated, and okay, let's just be clear. Let's get into the vaccination. Well, no, first let's stay on the open in the state. Yeah, I understand we want the state open. I want the state open too. And I'm sure that when we are finally at a place where we can open the state and it's okay, we all will have a little hint of PTSD. Italy has shut down again because people in Italy are not getting vaccinated and they're going backwards. So they've shut down the whole country of Italy and starting over from scratch. And Italy was doing really, really good. Me, was I against getting the vaccine? Yes. Honest moment, when the lady stuck the needle in my arm, did I regret it immediately? Yes. But I have to think about more than just me. I have to think about I want to hug my mama. That's the first thing she said. Well, I can't wait to hug my daughter. Because by the time I get my second vaccination, and she would already have had her second vaccination. You know, when we were in the shop, it was me, Miss Carla, and Miss Carla was supposed to be here today, and I forgot to remind her. But it was me, Miss Carla, and my client, Miss Sandra. And we had all been vaccinated. Me and Miss Carla had one. And thank you, Latane, for helping me get my vaccination. Because although I was on the list, they haven't called me back yet. So
Me either. Can you get me on a list, Latane? I need a list.
Maybe I can get you on the list tomorrow. But
Absolutely.
It's east off of I-10. It opens up tomorrow. A friend of mine, they're giving Pfizer. I'll send you the link, Renee.
Thank you so much.
I took what Joe Biden said for real. When he said everybody should be helping other people get it, I got a link for everything, baby. I will. If you tell me that you want a shot, I'll find you a shot.
ReneeMoulton@gmail.com.
I'm gonna send it to you on your text because I'm gonna say I have your phone number. I'll send it and you just go in and put yourself in and it'll open up to give you an appointment tomorrow. And it's one day this week, Pfizer. So it's all IT.
I logged in on the Fort Bend County one. Somebody sent me a link and they haven't called me yet.
Girl, will you tell her when I get her a link, she gonna get a text, get a shot?
I'm gonna need my shot.
But you
I'm gonna need my shot.
You got to go to that place. I mean, sometimes it's not close, but this one is at East Houston.
I got gas.
I know that's right. And so, yeah, go get your shot because it's Pfizer and that's 3 weeks. So yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Latane.
I got my vaccination, and then you'll talk about your vaccination. Oh, let me go back to what I was saying. So the three of us were in the salon together, but we still had our mask on. And if anybody knows, I work in a suite, so the space is kind of confined. But Miss Sandra has already had 2 shots. I had one. Miss Carla had one, and Miss Carla's about to have her second one, I think, Tuesday. So we were just sitting there tomorrow. Man, can you guys believe it? Once we're all vaccinated, the 3 of us, we can be here and be comfortable. The 3 of us can be comfortable. And I got vaccinated. First of all, I'm a little distracted because it's raining outside and it's people in the pool. I'm at the hotel. They walking around and I know that water is like 60 degrees because it's okay. But back to you, Bob. So I got distracted. So when I got the shot, I didn't feel anything. Remember, I sat for 15 minutes. Then I'm just telling you guys this because everybody's reaction is different. So I sat there.
Did it hurt?
Huh?
Did the shot hurt?
No, I didn't. I'm not afraid of needles. I was just talking to the lady. She was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "You finished, huh?"
I'm definitely afraid of needles, so I'm just want to know.
Turn your head and let the people stick you.
I am.
So we let other people stick us with things, and we ain't scared of that. That's a little bit of needle. So, the lady stuck me, and I sat there for 15 minutes, and I talked, and then I went outside and I talked to Latane, but when I left, Latane, I didn't tell you this part. I was saving it for the show. Back in my younger days, I used to smoke trees, and I'm like, I think I'm high. And I kept missing. So take somebody with you. So I kept missing my entrance to get on to go home. And then I tried to call a friend, and I tried to call my sister, and I called my mom. And she was like, "Okay, baby, it's okay." I wasn't upset. I was just like, "Mama, I think I'm a little high. I think I'm driving under the influence." But by the time I got from the location to my job, which was on a Sunday at the Starbucks, I said, "Well, let me get some coffee." I started to feel better. Okay. Now, I should have eaten something. I should have ate something, but I had just come from church. So I came straight. I didn't want to be late because when somebody does something for you, you don't be on time. You be early. So I got there and I didn't want to be late, so I didn't get anything to eat. Eat something. Go and get you something to eat. And once I drank the coffee, I felt better. But my mom was like, "I need you to stay in bed tomorrow and rest." I think what happened to me was because I had antibodies, That's why it made me sick. I was freezing. The next day I was freezing and I had no energy and I
So do you
couldn't get
think
up
the
and move around.
antibodies were fighting the vaccine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because when you go, they ask you, have you had antibodies in the last 3 months? And I told them no, which was the truth because I had COVID in October. And I believe the antibodies were fighting whatever they put inside. So then when I called my mom the next day, I was like, my arm really hurts. And when I raised my arm up, there was a huge knot under my arm. And my mom was like, that didn't come from COVID. And I said, Mama, I know my body. That came from that vaccine. And she called me the next day and she was like, baby, I apologize. That's one of the side effects that some people rarely get. And it just happened to me. So I just think God lets things happen to me so I can tell the people because everybody I talked to, because Latanya, you was like, oh, nothing. I didn't get nothing.
Wait, Mimi, you got a knot where? Like right under your
my
arm?
Like under my arm. Yes, it was like right
and it's
there.
Different. It's different for everybody. So
it's different for
my
everybody.
mother, my sister, and both my sisters have had Pfizer, and so did my daughter-in-law. They did not have any side effects, any whatsoever. I had Moderna, and my arm was hurting. Well, when Johnny, my son, got Moderna, they told him something they didn't tell me, which was move your arm all day. Just keep moving your arm.
So that's usually what happens when you get some kind of vaccine or flu shot or something like that. They say you have to move the area.
Right. And if you have to keep it moving. They didn't tell me that on the first one, so my arm hurt a long time. But then the second one, I was like, boom, 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 all day. And so I did get a little headache, but when I ate, the headache went away because I was fasting the day after. And so I was like, ooh, I ate the second chicken nugget and my headache was gone. So I don't know something,
and my headache went away. And it was a slight headache. It was nothing like when I had COVID. Let me be clear. It was just like a slight headache, but it was a headache. My regrets was I really didn't want to get the vaccination. I just really didn't want to do it because the vaccine is new and I've never had a flu vaccine. So I'm like, I can fight, but that's me. What about our friends that can't fight? What about our mothers and grandmothers and grandfathers? And we'll see, people think underlying health conditions means absolutely an old person. It's young people fighting for their life.
Right.
It's young people fighting for their life.
People died. See, for me, it started at the very beginning. Right now, a good friend of mine had it this time last year, and she was in the hospital, and they put her on a ventilator. She was in a medically induced coma, and then because she was on the ventilator and she's very dark skinned, they weren't paying attention to her leg, and so her foot was getting no circulation. So she's an amputee now. When she came out, they had to cut off her foot and 3 of her toes. So I don't play with COVID. You know, at the beginning, I lost like 3 friends right out the gate. And so for me, I probably lost 10, 12 people that I know closely. You know, not just, well, I think somebody know. I know them. A friend of mine from church.
That's the bad thing about it, because it was so new and they weren't really sure how to treat it and what to do. And now a year later, thank God I guess the scientists have gotten more and more information. That's why it's so important to get more information.
Right. And they said on the back.
They've been working on this longer than we really know. It's not, what the government doesn't tell us everything. They have been working on this vaccine for a while. I and Renee both got on hashtag I'm just saying and did a whole entire show about we were not getting vaccinated. But when you've been affected by it, you think it over. I'm thinking like this. I don't know what's in this wine. I don't know what's in this wine. I don't know how they make it. I don't know who crusty feet be stepping on the grapes. I don't know.
We don't know anything. And one of the things
we are at the mercy of everybody else.
But I'm drinking.
You don't know the prescription that your doctor gives you. All you know is you get a piece of paper, you can't read the writing, you take it to somebody you don't know, they fill the prescription, they put it in a bottle, put your name on it, and tell you how much of it to take, and you take it.
And you
take
it.
I'm taking the vaccine because of
the Tuskegee thing.
And because I had an ear infection, so I called my doctor because stuff was starting, and I tell him all the time, if something's wrong with me, it's gonna be because if I check up out of here, it'll be because you missed it. It'll never be because I don't come to the doctor. I'm coming straight to the doctor. You better figure it out. So last Friday, my daughter-in-law was talking. I was like, and I couldn't hear her as good in one ear. I was like, wait a minute. Something's going on. Well, then I called him and I got in on Thursday. He said, well, when did you notice it? I said Friday. And Monday, I called to come in on Tuesday, but they couldn't get me in on Tuesday. And so they said they could get me in on Thursday. No, I said Monday, I called, and then I called back on Tuesday, and they said they could get me in on Thursday because I would have been in on Tuesday. And he gave me prednisone, antibiotics. Do I know what's in any of that? No, I do not. But am I not taking that to get better? And so my whole thing around vaccination, and Mimi will tell you, I was like, straight up, I'm getting it. Day one. Yes, I was searching it out like crack because I know too many people who died from the coronavirus. I don't know one person who died from the shot.
I didn't say that I wouldn't take it. I said that by the time it gets to me, because they were starting supposedly with the first responders and the people who are on the front line and the people who were 70 or older, and they made it 60 and older or 65 and older. I said, by the time it gets to me, they will have figured it out. But that's going to be a little while. So then you have some data to go on. And the only person I heard that died from it was Thomas Hitman Hagler. I heard that he died from it. Complications from the shot. I don't know if that's true. I'm just telling you
that was
what I read.
Yeah, they that was a debunked myth that I heard that it wasn't. That's what he died from. So, but again, if I put that up to the people I know who died from COVID, even if I give him that, even if it wasn't a debunked myth, I would
still in a better place if you get the vaccine.
Because the thing is, for me, I was dead on the COVID from day one. I'm wearing a mask everywhere I go. I'm not playing with you. I'm gonna get Lysol. Everybody who needs some Lysol, gonna have some Lysol. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure everybody wiping down and having it, because it affected me so early. So when other people, girl, I don't know nobody. Baby, March and April, my friend had it. She got out of the hospital mid to late April. And then they amputated her leg in May. And so, that was just, and she went on a trip. Tracy scheduled our trip. And
she was an athlete.
Yeah, we ran track together. And so
she was an athlete.
And people saying you got to have these underlying illnesses, but truthfully, now you guys are probably perfect examples, but most of the people I know are still struggling with something from COVID. If they have it, you might taste it comes in and out, or I still ain't got all my energy back, or
that's a fact.
My neuropathy. A friend of mine said her feet still hurt. Nobody I know except you, Renee. Right now, you are the only person who said, everything is fine. Most people still got a little something.
But I will tell you this, that I may have some fatigue, but I don't know if it's from COVID, because I'm a mother, you're working, you're moving all around. We're just doing a whole bunch of things. I mean, I always had some fatigue. I could always lay down and take a nap. So I don't know if that's COVID or not. It could be. I've been hearing that that's one of the side effects.
I'm just thankful you both are here.
It is. And I have to be honest, I didn't start feeling like myself. And that's probably why I had regrets when I first got the vaccination, because I hadn't started feeling like myself until February. Like, oh, I'm moving around. I'm doing it. I'm feeling like I'm myself. I can go work out. I can do some things. I can go walk some miles. I can do more than just 3 or 4 people a day in the salon. And then when I got the vaccination, I got tired all over again. I guess it was just the overwhelming feeling of how COVID affected me and how it made me feel so much not like myself, that it made me sad. But it didn't last long. That's what I want to tell people. That didn't last long. I feel fine. And I will say this. Before I had that COVID vaccination, I didn't realize I couldn't taste food. I couldn't taste it until I got vaccinated. And then I went and got me something to eat. I'm like, oh shit, that's good. Because my taste buds have been affected that bad because my sense of smell was still going in and out. It was still going in and out, and I didn't realize it until I got back. I mean, I knew it was, but I didn't know to what extent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, you know, we don't know. If you eat fast food, I don't want to hear it. If you smoke weed or do drugs, I don't want to hear it. If you
have sex
alcohol,
with people on the first night and do all kinds of crazy stuff that folks say, I heard a comedian say, I ain't saying that you worried about me, but you doing stuff to women on the first night and you do
and you don't want to get vaccinated. Ply said, I get weed from the weed man on a regular basis. I don't know where that weed come from. So yeah, I'm taking the vaccine. He said, because if I'm gonna smoke this weed, now I don't even know what's in this weed. My pastor said I go to trips all over the place, all overseas, and we have to take a number of vaccinations. I don't know what's in those vaccinations. I just stick my arm out and it's like 18 shots sometimes, 16, 18 shots. I had to say, self, you're 49. Yeah, I'm 49 years old, about to be 50. I'm 49, 50 years old. If they come back to did you take the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccination back in 2021? Where you're eligible for a lawsuit. Hell, that'll be 10, 20 years from now. I'll be 60, 70 years old. I have lived my best life. And I'll cash in on the lawsuit. But as of today, because I want to go on a vacation, because I don't know if you recognize it, Latanya, but when you got your shot, that lady leaned over to me. She said, you keep this card in your wallet.
I keep mine.
But they tell you
it's card in your wallet.
You're about to have a vaccine passport.
You better ask somebody.
On your passport.
It's going to be. Yes. It's going to be. I'm going to laminate mine.
It's going to be like the American Express card. You don't leave home without.
Don't. And that's what. When I took the shot, because I think I told you, my girlfriend told me, Latanya, you rarely post on Facebook. You are an influencer. You need to post that you've had both of your shots. He's like, because people will listen to what you say and they're like, oh, she took it. So I had my final shot at 10:30, 10:45, I could leave. So I posted my little picture. He called me at 11:45. You know, what time did you finish your shot? I was like, an hour ago, I'm on my way to meet you for lunch. I said, and she said, just want you to know you got 85 likes already in 20 comments. I hadn't even looked. By the time I had finished, it was 210 and like 60 something comments. People asked me, are you okay? Did this? If I can tell one person to do it, I'm going to do it. And for me, I said a long time ago, I'm not the COVID police. I'm not the vaccine police. As long as my friends are getting a shot and I'm telling people, then I can go into the salon and not wear a mask and wear my mask when I take my behind out and know that Mimi's okay, that you're okay, that people are okay. And they've got these variants. They're saying they're here in Houston. Why would you not want to stay away from people who ain't wearing no mask? You just go. I even told my cousin, I was like, I don't go anywhere. And I said, but you're going to be the only person coming to my house without a mask who hasn't been vaccinated. So now I have to think about, can you come? Because you've made a decision to not get something that protects your aunt. So I don't care about you because you don't care about my mama. So
and that's the
bottom line. That is the bottom line. This is a selfless act. Never mind what my preconceived notion is. Never mind anything. I don't want to get my mom sick.
Yes.
What? Oh my God, do you know how painful that would be if they said that some of the people, those young people in multi-generational households were bringing it in and killing their grandparents and
Jackson
having to say bye on the iPad.
Face-to-face school. I'm like, Jackson, let me just break it down so that it can ever and always be broke. You're not doing face-to-face school. And the reason you're not is you'll go to school around all of these other people who aren't as careful as you. You'll get some of it. You'll come home and you will kill my mother. Do you understand how bad you will feel if something happened to Nana? And that's the bottom line. Greg is like, do you have to be so blunt about it? I was like, it's serious business. Yes, you have to be blunt.
Yeah, you have to be blunt about it.
That is what's happening all around. You're asymptomatic. So, like for me, thank God. For me, the person at work said, "Hey guys, I think you should get tested because I tested positive." If I didn't listen to that, I would have had it because if you'd asked me, I just had a sinus infection.
Yes.
That's what I always have, a sinus infection every year. I would have
Yeah.
brought it home, sleeping with Greg. I'm hugging and kissing on Jackson. Hey mom, how you doing? Fine. We're having coffee in the morning. I could have killed my mom. That's what it boils down to.
I think school teachers should have been right up there with first responders.
Absolutely.
If they want these kids back in the classroom, because I got it from a school teacher who had no earthly idea. She had high school students. The school teachers should have been first. They already don't get paid enough. School teachers should have been first in line, right with the first responders, because little ones don't know.
Right.
They, if you got your mask down here under your nose, that's like having a condom on with the tip cut off.
And speaking of that, that's what makes me mad about Greg Abbott. He's like, oh, well, the condom worked. Now I can have unprotected sex. No, stupid.
No. And you know, my daughter and my son-in-law are teachers, and my daughter teaches middle school, and she's been back in school since August.
Stop
and
me.
So, I know the condom didn't work, but you know, that's really, I can't with y'all. So my daughter teaches middle schoolers, and so she's in class. Aldine has been in class since August. And so she takes a can of Lysol, she wears a mask and a shield, and she does that and does her room. But my son-in-law teaches high school. The high school students came in and said, oh, I tested positive 2 weeks ago. Didn't tell nobody, school didn't tell nobody. And so, you know, he got his shot the same day Mimi did. But both of them, we went and got some rapid tests. When you get a headache, I'm going to get a test. And so, but I say that to say, you know, the person I know who got it, he wore his mask under here, and I was telling him, oh, COVID don't come in through your mouth. It comes in through your nose. And so, you know, I've always been, if Dr. Fauci tells me to take a shower with the mask on, rub-a-dub-dub, I got orange mask in the shower. I'm not playing with this stuff. And so the person I know who got it, he was very lax. Her family was like, then he got it, and he's like, well, I was tired all day yesterday, so I'm going this morning to get a COVID test. Nah, somebody done told you they got COVID. Then he got it and it came back. And then, oh, I really can't taste nothing and all that. So that's a person who I'm pretty sure will never tell me the truth. He'll never say.
It comes from your nose, it comes from your mouth, it comes from your eyes.
It comes from your ears.
All of that. So
sometimes we can be so woke we sleep. We can be so woke we can be stupid. Man, okay. If you're not gonna vaccinate, you know, I'm not gonna judge you because I didn't want to be judged when I didn't want the vaccination. I didn't want to be judged because I was like, hey, if enough people get it, 70%, 80% of people I've had it, so we're gonna be good. But if we want to get back to living, you know, we talking about the chip. Hell, you walking around with the chip every day, that damn cell phone that you can't keep your nose out of. You're on Instagram, you on Twitter.
Alexa is the chip. You have the convenient, and I'm convinced if I can say, Alexa, play something else, she ain't just listening for her name. She listening to everything. And I bet you if you take that Alexa and you plug it up to your computer, it'll tell you every conversation you had.
Absolutely. Or it ain't just Alexa. You don't have to
smart
be on
TVs.
Your phone. I'm telling you, when I go back on Facebook or when I go back on Instagram, Kirk Franklin gonna be because we talked about it. We already have the chip. We're already living in a world of end days. Get the dang on vaccination so we can get back to living. Because the truth of the matter is, you're not going to be able to go to a concert. You're not going to be able to, unless you're an introvert, this might be cool with you. I ain't. I've been depressed for a year. I want to go outside. I want to go on vacation. I want to hug my mama. You don't understand what I'm saying? These are things I want to do. So I'm not going to judge you if you don't want to get vaccinated, the people who are tuning in today, but don't judge me because I did.
Right. Oh, Nayla, ditto.
She'll be
I
there.
mean, but just if you make a decision, don't judge my decision, but know that the same decision you made, I've made, which means I don't have to be around you. So you made a decision to not get it, and that's your prerogative. But
Yes.
I made a decision to protect my mom, and that's what I said about my cousin. You made a decision, so you really don't want to see your auntie.
Yeah. I just want to get back to living. You know, I'll be vaccinated fully when I go home to see my mom. And that's a release that I'll have, even though I'll still have my mask on the plane, because they say you need to be vaccinated at least 14 days before you release yourself. So I'm on
And
board with
truthfully,
this.
I'll be 14 days on Tuesday, and I'm not releasing myself to
Yeah.
like ride on no plane or nothing with no mask on because it's too many variants. And so,
Yeah.
you get something else in your nose, and then we're 95%, 95, not 100. And that same 5% can give you asymptomatic, and then you give it to somebody else. I don't
Yeah.
want to give it to nobody.
Well, I'm not trying to give it to nobody, but I know that there is a time and there is a point where we're going to have to trust God and learn to live to be free. Just what they say, some countries, like China, there are times when they wear their mask.
All the time.
Yeah, they go through seasons where they have a season of mask wearing. Are we are we at that place where we maybe have to do that? You know, did Renee come back? I thought she came back. Yes, she came back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Maybe we're in that season where we might have to go through seasons where we do wear the mask, because people forget about pneumonia, people forget about the flu, people forget about the common cold, people forget about a sinus infection. The moment you get sick, like Tina's sick right now, but she doesn't have COVID, she has bronchitis. She went to the doctor, they told her, no, you have bronchitis. There are other elements out there. We need to protect ourselves from all things, but please, people, if you're under the sound of my voice, please protect yourself. Please think about others more than yourself, because it's not just about you. It's about Renee's mom. It's about our friend who's fighting for their life. It's about the young girl who's a personal trainer, but she has diabetes, but yet she still has to go to work, and she's 23 years old. She said, Miss Mimi, I don't live in fear, but I feel some type of way when I go to work, because she's a personal trainer, but she's a diabetic, and she has the diabetes where she has to take the shot, not, type 1. So there's nothing that diet's not going to change that. So we got people who have heart issues. If you overweight, if your BMI is high, you got underlying health conditions. Let's just be on the clear.
And just because you didn't go to the doctor and the doctor didn't tell you have underlying issues, you have underlying issues.
Yeah.
Especially when they say BMI 30. I mean, that ain't hard to get to.
People don't know what BMI is, because
I know what
a lot
BMI
of folks
is.
don't go
I've
to
been
the
fighting with
doctor.
my BMI since high school.
A lot of people
I got a
just don't go
BMI.
to the doctor for whatever reason.
Right.
They don't have insurance. They don't have access. Whatever the reason, a lot of people don't go to the doctor until they're deathly ill.
Well,
And that's
a
just
friend
a
of
fact
mine,
of life.
he fell out in Aldi's because he don't have insurance, ain't been to the doctor, falls out, has COVID, and then he falls out. He was at my birthday party, but anyway, he falls out. They take him to the hospital, diabetic, and he's diabetic and high blood pressure and COVID. But he had to fall out to get to the doctor, no insurance. That's how he found out. Was in the hospital 4 days.
Yes, indeed.
That's how it happens, because people just don't have access, and it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but that's just how it is, unfortunately.
But we're gonna get better. We just need to be prayed up. I'm planning my 50th. I'm planning 50th with expectancy that we will be able to actually have a gathering. You
Sure.
understand what I'm saying? I was able to talk to the young man where I'm having my party at, because I had a venue reserved for last year, and I called him and I was like, "Hey, the numbers are still, he said, no question. What date do you want?" He
And
said,
thank
because
God your birthday is in August, because Joe Biden said a 4th of July you could have a something, and
Small
we should all
gathering.
be
Yeah.
good.
Well, people who
well,
have had, I think more people have had vaccinations than you think by August. I think the
oh,
hesitancy
absolutely,
is going
absolutely.
down. I think that, most of the people gonna be like, boom, drop my card. Because after a minute, when you need the vaccine passport to travel, folks will be like, well, Dad, I gotta go and get the shot.
And I think a
Absolutely,
lot of these
absolutely.
corporations are going to start requiring it. If you want to, like, a lot of people will want to still work from home and the corporations will allow it. But there's some people who are ready to come back. Well, in order to come back and be around everybody, you're going to have the vaccine.
Yeah.
And if you don't, when they have a reduction in force, guess who's going to be at the top of the list? The non-vaccinated people.
Deuces.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it's going to be, because corporations don't want to keep losing people because people are getting sick.
I see church like, hey, we're going back to church, but that we want to know, have you been vaccinated?
Absolutely. Look at all the elderly people at church. You have to show that you've been vaccinated.
Yeah.
Or stay home or do streaming. See, we got both and. If you want to come back to in-person services, you need to be vaccinated.
And
I don't think that's
I know it's not
thing.
up to the big corporations or the churches, but I do think that they bear some responsibility for how people need to behave. When the pastor gets up in front and he's like, "Hey, it's time to vote. Make sure you early vote. Make sure you everybody power to the polls and all that kind of thing." Like, they need to be vigilant in this as well.
I think
especially after August, especially after everybody can get it. Everybody that can get the shot. I don't think there's nothing wrong with asking people. Now, they can dummy up and fake a card if they want to, because it ain't that hard to do. If you want to go through all of that, white out some stuff and make your own COVID shot form. But at the end of the day, I think more people will be vaccinated than we ever had imagined, because the hesitancy is going down. And now they say they got Johnson & Johnson, which is one shot, and all of this is going to change up.
Yeah, because somebody I know and love that was against it, that told me, well, I'm just watching you to make sure that, you don't turn into a zombie and from The Walking Dead. And if you do, I'm just letting you know I'm stabbing you in your forehead with love. Told me out her mouth today, I think I'm going to go get vaccinated. Because when somebody you love has been affected, it changes your view and your outlook on it. But me and Lataine have already discussed that. We was like, until people are personally affected by COVID, they will not, they don't see it like we see it. They're like, oh, I already had it. I know a couple of homeboys like, I had it, I'm good. They out living willy-nilly, no mask, at the skating rink and just doing all sorts of things. But you may have had it, and you might have it and be asymptomatic, and then you bring that shit home to your mama or your grandma or your auntie, and they ain't gonna say they don't feel good. Just like somebody I know, they dad had it. They dad had it, and then 3 days later, gone. He got it from somebody at his job. And he was like, well, who had it? Well, we can't tell you that. Went upstairs and isolated himself from his family. Wife took him something to drink upstairs and he gone 3 days. No underlying health condition. So don't tell me what this virus can't do. Just get vaccinated and load up on vitamins. Go eat before you do it. It's things that I didn't do that I could have done. So I take this the way I felt.
They got this airborne, vitamin C, emergency, all of that stuff. You need to take it. Ginger, turmeric,
these things right here. And they're like little pellets, and you get them, and they are for body. It's all natural. Flu-like symptoms, body aches, headaches, fever, chills, fatigue.
What is it called? Because I can't read it.
I can't.
Put it close to the camera.
Just put it a little closer because I couldn't see it. It was a glare.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And they're little pellets. They're little tubes, and you take them every 6 hours. So I took them to build up my immune system when 2 days before I got my shot. And so then I did that. So yeah, I was prepared. My son-in-law got the shot the same day as Mimi, but he started taking his 2 and 3 days. But we started taking this before the virus came out. I mean,
so it sounds like the key is being proactive. Don't wait for something to happen.
Right.
Get in front of it.
We started taking this when we first got the virus, when I was taking these once a day, because I was like, at least I'll build it up a little bit, and so anything you can do to help your immune system. And even after I got my second shot, I was taking it. Because
they need to take some castor oil, some cod liver oil, some vitamin C.
Get you some elderberry, get you some vitamin D, get you some zinc, get your multivitamin.
Go to a Smoothie King and get you the immune booster smoothie on Fridays. It's $5.
Not this.
No, not this.
You can get that, put something in there if you want.
But that's our take on the COVID vaccine, to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. Whatever you decide to do, I respect that. Just remember that it's not about you, it's about others. This is about a selfless love. And if you love others as Christ loves you, you'll second guess this vaccination. If you're not 100% vegan and growing your own damn garden, and you don't have cows in your backyard, then you really can't tell me about I know some things are not to be trusted. I was with you and I'm still with you. But until we can get back to living, hey, go vaccinate. Go vaccinate. It's not going to hurt. And we'll have this conversation again. If they come out with another vaccination that I have to get after this, then we'll have to talk, because I don't know if I'm going to do it again. I don't know if I'm going to do it like people do the flu shot every year.
You do it every year.
To say it, you're going to do it. If it's going to protect
every year,
if there's a chance it's going to protect your mom, you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it every year. Whatever they tell me, if Dr. Fauci say get it in this side of your cheek, and then this one, and then on this booty, and then on this booty, I'm like, boom, 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 but maki da da. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting, look at you, look, sexy. So anyway.
But I love you guys. I was supposed to have like a girls like wine experience this month, but I think I'm gonna wait. And the only reason I say I'm gonna wait, because there's somebody that's missing, and I don't want to do it without her. So until she gets better, that's when we'll do that episode. We'll have our girls' day where we have wine, and because we were gonna actually try to get together, not on Zoom. I just don't feel right having that episode.
When the time is right, we will get together. There's a new winery on 99.
Yes.
We're going to do that. And it's going to be shortly. It's just going to take a little time. Patience.
It's going to take a little time. And I don't want to do that without her.
Right.
So just know, sis, we love you. You are in our prayers. We're praying for you unconditionally. We're praying for you continuously. We know that God's a healer and He is a provider. Absolutely. And you are the reason that changed some people's mind about the vaccination. I just want you to know that. Remember to laugh. Y'all stay right there. And why those people in the pool, I just don't know. I don't get it. Remember to laugh. Remember to love. Remember to be the light and always bear good fruit. Always. This is # I'm just saying. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.